G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. Today we are on Cliffside, an action-packed, tight map where you are able to be under attack, let's go with that, from every single side of your base. It's a fun map to play on, that is for sure, and we got some incredibly fun players to watch, ladies and gentlemen, spawning over in the west of the map, currently sitting at 1750 ELO rating. Playing as the Holy Roman Empire in the color red, it is Gully Deckle. And towards the east side of the map, currently sitting at 1670 rating, playing as the Delhi Sultanate. You will remember him, ladies and gentlemen, it is Elazer. Welcome to Cliffside. Now today we're going to be playing with team colors, team colors, not unique player colors, just because these guys went for yellow and orange, and I didn't want to ruin the experience for 3% of you guys out there, so I don't mean that as an insult. I get annoyed as well, don't worry. I'm right there with you. I just wish there was a better option, because there's little ways that you can work around the UI. So whenever we get like a notification that pops up on the screen right here, we can get rid of that if we just swap perspective. But the problem is, I mean, as you know, when we swap perspective, it changes their color. And which color? Who was what color? Yeah. We've got that problem now. So the laser's going to be blue today. It also means that we can't check the line of sight of players, so just keep that in mind. So storytelling's probably not going to be the best here. We're mainly just focused on Elazer. He is laser hot. He is laser focused, and I'm confident he's going to be putting on a performance today, putting on a show, because he's had a little bit of a heart change. You see, he used to be playing the French. He loved the French. He was spamming them like crazy. I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna put this out there. He probably lost to a Delhi Sultanate player, and he was like, "That's absolutely broken. I'm gonna do that." And mad respect, because I'm exactly the same, man. The most overpowered civ is the civ I just lost to. I'm just putting it out there. When you think about it, it makes sense. But it looks like he's done his research. If we take a look, you can quite literally see he's doing his research. The efficient production is coming through at the moment. He'll be looking to move into Piety shortly after. He needs to make sure he remembers to queue Piety straight away at the beginning of... Oh, look at that. He's on the ball. Never mind. He doesn't even need to worry about it. Also got Wheelbarrow coming through here. I'm curious if we see professional scouts come out from him, because it is free. He could look to get early tempo advantage through something like a spearman opening into a stable, or a stable opening into a barracks. I think both of those make a lot of sense. Arkin Chapel coming down in the back of the base. That is a sad Arkin Chapel, isn't it? Oh, Gully Deckle. That is a sad Arkin Chapel. I mean, maybe you can do like a deer push back in here, or maybe you can even do a professional scout deer, but that is so sad. You could technically do it up here, but there's so much trouble with this, and we've seen this before in games where people put their Arkin at the front because it's like slightly more optimal. So even on this spawn, right, you would have had to have planned it out from the very beginning, because you would have had to have gone, okay, hold on, the only place for my Arkin is like right here, so I have to put my mining camp here, and then my house here, but then you wouldn't want your house here, because then it's blocking from everything, right? Like, you really got to think about it quite far in advance to be aware of this. So this is definitely making the most sense to me, which sucks, but it's just the way it is, right? It's just the way it is. So hopefully he's able to bring the deer back in, and that'll help him out a little bit. I suspect players will probably both be moving into professional scouts here. There's plenty of deer on this map, so we've got you got lots of hunts to choose from. Gully Deckle's definitely got more favorable hunt spawns, though. They're both towards the back, whereas if we look for a laser, he's only got the one spawn towards the back, so something to keep in mind. Another thing to note is that there's only small golds on this map. There's no big golds. And because of that, it means things like keeps are a little bit weaker from the perspective of, well, they don't really defend as much. Now, arguably, you'd be able to put a keep right here and defend, you know, two stones and 2 golds, and fair enough. That's a good point. But you do have to compromise on its placement. It's not just like in Dry Arabia, where all of a sudden it's just boom, and that's it. So this message right here, normally I'd remove it by doing that. So we time it as the age up comes through. As we were very fortunate there in that they aged up at the same time, so we could just like swing it back. But it's one of those things, because if you don't do that, that message will just stay up there for like 10 seconds, 12 seconds. And there's no way to get rid of it. But look, it's one of those little things. It's one of those little things. It's one of the sacrifices that we make. Let's check in with the mill and see what he's going for. He is going professional scouts. So he's going to go wheelbarrow before professional scouts, which definitely makes sense considering this is only 30 seconds away. And he can be aggressive, and he can stop. Ooh, we are going very aggressive. Look at the positioning on this stable. Only the single villager on it for the moment, but right at the front of the base. You got to be careful when you put stables at the front of the base like this, just because there is the risk that if you do lose control over the map, that the enemy will just come in and siege it straight away. And realistically, there is definitely an opportunity for that to happen. So we do need to be cautious about that. But other than that, no real feedback for him so far. He's been doing well. He's been doing well. I gotta clear my voice. Give me a sec here. I've just woken up, as you can probably suspect by how lovely my voice sounds. Okay, we're back. We're back. I muted it. I knew you guys wouldn't want to hear it, so we muted it. Okay, so professional scouts about to come through for Gully Deckle. I don't know why, but I call him Gully Decky sometimes, and I don't know. I guess maybe I don't see the L on the end. It could be an L. It could be a capital I. That's a good point. I don't know. Even if it was, it would be Gully Decky. Gully Decky. How do you even pronounce that? That's probably not. That's not English. Gully Decky. I don't know what language that is, mate. I wonder what it means. I probably should have checked. It could be a slur. Gully Decky, are you slurring me? He could be. It could be like Norwegian for low APM. Why would he call himself that though? Why would you insult yourself? I mean, okay, that's a fair point. We do it all the time. Anyway, let's focus more on the game and less on the names. That's a good call. Good call. Okay, so we've got ourselves a little bit of a build-up that's starting to happen behind the base. Plenty of food back here as well. We can't actually select how many sheep are here because, as you guessed it, we're not in the player's perspective. But now we can. So there you go. Every single time I have to switch perspective, I will call it out very intentionally. Oh gosh. You can call me salty or just call the devs and tell them, hey, can you fix up caster mode, please? Yeah, we had to do it. We had to do it. We had to get it in there. Spearman going to come out and try and repel this. Elazer feeling strong. Lightning focused early on as he's able to pick off a Spearman. Going to find a second one here as well. At least going to try and find a second one here. He's got a whole group of them. Scout coming up the rear as well. He's just going to chase. He's not even going to surround. 2 more spears coming through. Not going to be found. And now forced away from this position. He does have wonderful control on the map here at this point. He needs to make sure he moves towards that north side. Even just sending up 1 or 2 units towards that north side is going to be key because you want to stop this from happening. You do not want your enemy to be able to pull these deer in. But the reality is with deer this close to the Archon Chapel, it is unlikely you're really able to do much damage. Now, do we see an archery range coming out just yet for him? Indeed we do. The timing is absolutely on point. Elazer doing God's work here, as not only does he take the sacred sites, that's doing the God's work. Another thing, we can't change perspective when he's being attacked by a wolf. So we're just going to have to enjoy the notifications and the fighting in the middle. Apologies. The fighting in the middle. Too busy over here talking about about everything else. So once again, I mean, Elazer really demonstrated that his early game macro is quite good. So normally you shouldn't be able to put this much pressure onto Spearman. But the fact that he has got, I suspect, the Scholar inside. Yeah, he's just switched over the Scholar now. He had the Scholar inside up until this point. His mechanics are starting to really improve. Obviously, when it comes to micro, very, very good. But with the exception of that, everything else is still, it's working its magic, man. He's getting up there. We still got some mechanics to talk about, though. Poor little wolf. Poor little Warwick the wolf. Just doing what he does best. Chasing around religious units. They don't really do much else in this game. Everything else just kills them very quickly, and they're just quite annoying. I did see a YouTube comment that said wolves should do more damage to civilian units, and I agree with that. I mean, they got to do something right. They just can't leave them in the current state. It's so sad. It's just... As a person with autism who gets triggered by that sound... Dude, I get triggered by the craziest things. I didn't realize until I was older. So I have this thing called audio hypersensitivity. And certain sounds absolutely trigger me out. Like, I go wild, bro, if I hear these sounds. I'm like, you know how, like, the dogs with the whistles? I'm exactly the same. Like, if there's this... I'm not going to tell you what the sound is, because then when you guys meet me IRL, you play the sound, and I'll go... I'll do something silly. Anyway, are we getting cursed? I feel like we might be getting a little bit cursed here. Because we're not moving completely off topic, but we're definitely straying off topic. And I think that's... I guess that's part of a cursed cast, isn't it? But it's... I mean, we're keeping up with the action. It's just that we're missing a little bit of it. But we'll focus. Don't worry. We'll bring it back. Archer numbers quite low here. Gotta be honest. Sacred Site in the middle has been neutralized. In the north, about to be neutralized. In the south, not... Where did this unit go? There was a unit down here. He was uncontested. It looks like he's gone to a better place. He's gone to heaven, guys. He's gone to heaven. But Sacred Site neutralized for the moment. I mean, the primary focus here is that he's able to take control of the Sacred Sites for the gold. That's the main thing. Now, I will just alert you guys that the drink of the day is coffee. And not just one coffee, but 2 coffees. Thank you, my lovely wife. She's brought me in... Well, I've got a new mug. It's one of these mugs. You got to plug in, like, the base unit. And it keeps the coffee warm. It's meant to keep the coffee warm. I can't get it to work yet. But maybe today is the day that it starts working. The only problem is she didn't put it on the base. So the coffee's just sitting there, just getting cold. Give me a sec. Like, will you guys give me 2 seconds? Hold on. I can actually keep talking and I can move the coffee at the same time. I probably shouldn't though. We're gonna try. Okay. Okay, it's on. I didn't hear it should make a beep. I didn't hear the beep. Gonna rotate it around. Okay. Speaking of rotating around, archers looking to rotate around and take out these units that are rotating around. Ghazi Raiders on the front line. He's looking to try and focus down the spears. A whole bunch of scholars in here as well. Men-at-arms sent to the archers. He's definitely a bit discombobulated right now. Needs to try and bring everything back together. And now towards the top, there's a lot of men-at-arms that are in here right now. Gully Decky is just going, Gully Deckle rather, just going absolutely ham here. So doing the right thing though, Ghazi Raiders together with the archers. The one thing that I'm noticing though, and I'm not sure if you've noticed this yet, is the castle age timing. Very interestingly. Not quite there yet. One of those things that we'll learn as we get better, as we improve. And now holding towards the front, Gully Deckle is going to get absolutely destroyed. Who needs castle? Who needs castle when you got this many units? When you got this many scholars healing up the front line? And that's another thing to remember, that in this matchup against the Holy Roman Empire, men-at-arms are good, but the trouble is when you've got the healing in the Second Age the same way that the Delhi Sultanate have got, it means that often you're able to heal your units through the damage that is being done by the men-at-arms. And now, not really focusing down any specific men-at-arm, but you can see just how little damage they're able to take. Men-at-arms, no spearmen in the backside, in the back line. Wouldn't want to have a spearman in the backside, that's for sure. Jeez, that would be painful. It'd be painful. You'd end up in a British museum somewhere. Like this gentleman was injured when a spearman pierced his. I'm good, bro. I'm good. Thank you. It's just that's so British of you. You know the best part is like that guy would not be British. Like that's the reason why he's in the British Museum. If he was British, he'd be in a cemetery. There you go. That's the big brain thought of the day. Speaking of big brains, though, ladies and gentlemen, it is 12 minutes 30, so we're going to switch this over to income per minute, and you can already see a bit of difference beginning to build. Have a look at this. We've got 1,200 resources per minute compared to what is this going on right here? You're looking at almost 2,000 resources a minute. That's a lot of difference between these two. That is a huge difference between these two. So I suspect there's been a Vil transfer or something right now because, I mean, it is just the Holy Roman Empire difference, but that's a lot of difference right there. Archer numbers still looking good. The only trouble is the cav has started to dwindle. Oops, like my voice. Okay, we're back. Just like my voice has started to dwindle. Don't worry, we picked it up. We cleared it and we moved on towards the south. Another sacred site attempt to be taken. But remember, Eleazar just wants to hold the sacred sites. He doesn't want to actually get the sacred victory. And look at this, more units now rallying towards the middle. Gully Deckle is losing units very quickly. Now, keep in mind, this is a very good player. He's 1750 rating. That is a very high rating on the ladder. I'm not going to say top 100, but I think he's top 100. But I'm not going to say it, but I think he's top 100. Is that me saying it if I say that I think he's top 100? I feel like it probably is. It probably is. Okay, let's do a quick coffee test. So the first coffee that we're going to take is the one... Oh, that's a big coffee. Because normally, the reason why I've got 2 coffees is because the coffee mug, the new coffee mug that I've got is quite small. So she puts like half of the coffee in that, and then the other half of the coffee is in the other mug. But yeah, I've woken up quite late today. It's like, I think I woke up about 5 a.m. So I got to work on it. I got to work on my game. It's not the best. All right, give me a sec here. We're going to try this coffee. I'll give you a rating from 10 to 10. Oh, mate, that is a 10. You never would have seen that coming. You never would have seen me giving my wife's coffee. It's actually really good. She's very good at making coffee. I'll say that much. We got an age up coming through. It's going to be the Regnets on the back line. Gully Deckle going to be aging up before Eleazar. We're not going to be able to get this off the screen right here. Have a look how long it stays for. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There you go. 10 seconds. Oh, don't worry. We can't get rid of this one. We can get rid of this one at the top. The population capacity reached. Can't get rid of the other one, though. Okay, so men-at-arms are in the back line. Still not really able to do much. The Vil's just going to be idled out for a moment. So I think looking at this, like, one of the most important things as the Delhi Sultanate that you really have to be able, and this is what separates the good Delhi Sultanate players from the amazing Delhi Sultanate players, is how they can identify and age up timing. And it's not even that, but it's just, it's more being able to make your units that you train last longer or do more work than what you normally can do. And players in particular like May are very good at this, where they will just make like 7 units and they'll be up to castle age at 9 minutes. And you're like, how is he already up? Like, he's in my base, he's killing my vills, he's just absolutely ruining me, and he's already up to castle age. Like, there's a whole bunch of skill to that. So I think that once a laser looks to master that, he is really going to be looking to challenge the top echelons. Because have a look at this military count. Like, it's not even close at this point. Now, granted, a lot of this is going to be scholars. He's got 16 scholars at the moment. But scholars still contribute to the battle. They're still healing up. They're still doing something. There's still units that can be attacked. Age up about to come through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... 9. It bugs me. I don't know if it bugs you guys. I counted 3 twice because we started at 1. We should start at 0. You always want to start at 0. Look at it go, dude. Look at it go. It's still up here. I'm not even kidding you. Look at... Dude, somebody time this, please. The entire fight's been going and it's still telling us a new age begins. Come on. And they say us casters are useless. Mate, you'd be looking at a new age... Gosh, this is getting cursed, isn't it? This really is. But this is the consequence of not being able to change your color. Relic trying to get sniped away here. This is going to be... By the... Oh, my lord. He's got 4 relics in the bag here. To take it back, he's got 3 now. That's 1. That's 2. And a deer. Nice. And 3? Where's 3 at? 3 should be over towards... No, he's going for it. We've just picked up this one. 3's probably on the way back in. That is impressive. To look down here and to see 4... Dude, that's actually insane when you think about it. He's only just started playing the Delhi Sultanate. Literally only played the French before this. And now within, what is it, 24 hours? He's just like, oh, I know exactly everything that I need to do. That is incredible. That is absolutely, that's wild to me that he knows that. Because like, that's a huge component of coaching. One of the things that I'm looking at whenever I'm coaching and I'm watching a Delhi Sultan, Wololo, a laser going for a Wololo on the central sacred site. Not going to be able to find anything, but able to force back the units. Able to get himself a couple free hits in. Meta arms now with the upgrade coming in, an extra little bit of damage on the axe, another +2 damage, we'll take it. And I'm expecting that we'll probably see crossbows starting to come through. Indeed, we will start to see, we've already seen them coming through. Crossbows on the way. We want to avoid lancers in this situation just because the lancers will get countered by the heavy maces once they do come through. And technically the meta arms do quite well against them. We'll say that much. Not even technically, actually, literally. They do quite well against them. Now continuing to kite back. This mass from Elaser is significant. Like, you look at this and you're like, wow, he's got so many. But there's not a lot in here, right? You got to remember that. Like, a lot of this is 20 scholars, okay? Now all of a sudden you're at 24 versus 11. And then out of that 24, 15 of them are archers, and they're going to be barely scratching the surface of the men at arms. So you really have to consider that. So I would just be saying, look, it looks bad, but it's not really. It's not really. The archers don't do a whole lot. And I think this is one of those things that, you know, as you play more, you'll get better at recognizing. It's like, all you need are enough archers to one-shot a spearman. That's it. And as long as they don't die, that's all you need. And to be honest, he's probably at about that number. I don't think you'd want to be less than this just because you want to have that ability to just, you know, play a little bit more careless and potentially lose a couple more archers. But in the end, he's going to secure 4 of the 5 relics. Enemy neutralizing sacred site. Want me to show you a trick? No, never mind. It'll go away by itself. I was going to show you a cool trick. Not going to show you that cool trick anymore. Beginning to move up towards the front line. I think he's moving away from the stone on the front just because he's fearful that the enemy might potentially come in and hit this stone. Numbers are starting to really pull ahead here for a laser. Now, he could look for an Imperial Age. I don't think that would be a terrible idea, going to Imperial here. It's one of the things that, you know, the Delhi Sultanate do very well, going to Imperial. The key thing that you're looking for are elephants. And not just any elephants, but elephants with upgrades. You can get some big upgrades for the elephants once you hit Imperial. But we've got more upgrades on the way. We've got pikes coming through, an extra pakes. We've got pakes coming through. Which is an extra 0.5 range on your crossbows and archers, and it might not seem like much, but it can make all the difference. Trust me, as a sprinkled enjoyer who used to deal with 12.5 Springalds against the Rus. It was, well, let's just put it this way. It was noticeable. 12 range versus 12.5 range. You could definitely tell the guy who had 12.5. And I'm not speaking in metaphors right there. I'm talking about Springles. Because I tell you what, it doesn't really matter if you got 12 or 12.5. She's going to be happy either way. Elephant's now starting to come out. If anything, she's probably not even happy. Like, that's absurd. Stop. Why? What? That's ridiculous. Anyway, we've got ourselves a little bit of a raid that's coming through now. Gully Deckle gonna get cleaned up here. Not able to find a whole lot of success. Now, I will say it right now. Gully Deckle is just doing the one building challenge. He's only making barracks. Can we possibly get like a little bit of a switch into maybe a Lange Connect? See, the thing is, Elaser's good enough. Like, he knows what the Lange Connect does, and he just knows to pick it off. So even if you try and make the Lange Connector, he's going to be able to pick it off, because he's the kind of guy, I suspect, he's got different control groups for both of these units. He's controlling them together, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is control group 1, this is control group 2, this is probably control group 3, control group 4 is back over here, the raiding horsemen or the Ghazi Raiders, control group 5 are these vills that are about to get destroyed. Got to get him out there, he's pretty quick on the reacts right there. He's lost 8 vills throughout the game. Gully Deckle's got a pretty substantial vill lead here, more than 10%. But now have a look at that income. Let's have a look. 1,900. Call it 2,300. Call it 20. We'll call it 3K. And now compare it to his opponent. You're looking at about 2.5K. Somewhere in that region. 2.5, 2.4. Roughly around that number. So still with the advantage on the economy side. Now more units looking to try and force these villages idle. He's able to pick up a couple more vills here and clean this out. I'd love to see some walls coming through. And look at Gully Deckle. He's hitting him with a spearman raid. He's really going for this one base, or this one unit combo type, one unit type combo. Is that even, if it's only a single unit, is it really a combo? Yes, it is. Because there's different units. He's just making infantry. We'll just go with this infantry combo. There we go. Ghazi Raiders in the back of the base. First vills of the game now going to be taken out here for Elaser. He finally gets one back on his opponent. Gully Deckle immediately looking to respond. Loses only the 2 vills for now. Under attack on all angles by the feeling of it. Emergency repairs came through on the outpost. By the time he gets this down to about 20% health, emergency repairs should be back up. We'll be okay. Single men at arms towards the top. Scout towards the bottom. A lot of units back here. Elaser, 101 military population. 29 scholars right now. If there's ever been a time to go Imperial, it's now. And keep that in mind. The more scholars you've got, the better it is to go Imperial, because the moment you hit Imperial, you can immediately click all of your upgrades, and in a minute, you'll have them all for free. So that's the primary thinking behind Imperial with the Delhi Sultanate when you're playing into this style of lots of scholars. But now going to look to try and kite back. He doesn't have all of his army here. He's going to be careful of the Lange Connect. They are doing a bit of a swing, and you can see he's focusing them down. Make sure we focus the Lange Connect. There we go, another one. There we go. Pick this one, this one, this one. Hit him. Yep, well done, well done. Meanwhile, over towards the west, we got heals on heals. We got the prelates on one side. We got the scholars on the other. We got the spears from the north. From the east, we've got the archers. He's rallying more and more units in, more troops to the front line. Elephants now coming in from the south. Elaser rallying all the troops. Mortar has been called. The Eye of Gondar sees everything except defeat in the eyes of Elaser. Because have a look at this military count. 95. Is it the Eye of Gondor? I don't know. Eye of Sauron. Sorry. I just triggered like half of my audience right now. Drongo, I can't believe you didn't know. No, I know. I'm just retarded. So I had to cut myself off there. I feel like I'm allowed to say the word. Like, if you are that thing, you're allowed to. Like, I'm reclaiming it. I'm reclaiming it. I wonder how YouTube feels about that, though. We'll have to see. Big army. Gully Deckle might be in a little bit of trouble here. Something tells me he's not going to make it long through this. That's an awful lot of elephants in the base, my friend. 99 versus 22. Emergency repairs still in play. But how do you possibly get all these elephants out of your base? You don't even need Imperial at this point. He's just got a whole bunch of war elephants. Another raid in the backside. Will get spotted out by Gully Deckle. But all he's got in queue is 3 spears. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. 3 spears and a dream. That is it. Gully Deckle tapping out. And Elaser victorious. He is climbing up the ladder. He is back once again. He's on the Delhi Sultanate, and he is looking to take names. Fellas, we'll be bringing you plenty more action in the coming weeks as we look forward to hopefully seeing a little bit more variety in civilizations.